Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the What the Football Show. Here we are after our first season victory. We're very, very happy. It was a great, great game. I called it. I had a good time. The boys did really good. So we're here to talk about that game and look ahead to the next game. And I got my boy BH with me here today. BH, how you doing?
Yeah, doing great. It was pretty awesome, man, to get the first, that first game win. I remember last year it was pretty depressing, not only losing to the Chargers, but then losing our quarterback for the year. That was a pretty bad game. So this was the complete opposite. Got some things we want to talk about, good and bad, because we keep it honest.
Yep.
I think I would just have to say, I say for both teams, and I saw a lot of NFL. There's that rustiness, that first game rustiness, not as clean, as crisp sometimes. Although sometimes you see plays and you're like, wow,
yeah,
teams look good. But we're talking about fumbles. I saw other games. It's kind of typical personal fouls, fumbles, interceptions. They always seem to be out there ready to grab you. But this game was really something, and I think everyone would agree that, especially the way the offense ran and the way Carson Wentz ran it.
Yeah. It was really, really good.
Really did. I mean, and gosh, man, all of a sudden, man, I was wondering who was up or I guess, hey, Scott Turner is on the field now, right?
He's on the sideline now. That might be a difference.
I don't know if that was a difference or he's just, but he just all of a sudden looked like, he got modern football, loosen the shackles from his dad.
Yeah.
God, because, I always thought his father was always way too conservative at times, although a great football mind, don't get me wrong, plays and developing plays and stuff like that. But sometimes the play calling, but man, Scott Turner just had some great design plays. Yeah. Utilizing people, going into this game, Carson Wentz is on the hot seat because he's, because of his past. Curtis Samuel's on the hot seat because he was injured all last year. Antonio Gibson on the hot seat because he's fumbling all the time. Yep. And Scott Turner on the hot seat because he's just too conservative and people are mad at his play calling. Well, all four of those guys. Yep. No one's mad at him after that game, man. Yep. Everyone lit it up. Curtis Samuel, man, what a revelation. I mean, just running the ball out of the backfield and receiving, got a touchdown. I loved it. He really did. And he just, he did have the fumble, but he just really, you get a guy like that out there, it does a lot to defenses. It does. When someone's that dynamic and they're running from the slot, they're in the backfield, running the ball. And they're doing that well. Defensive coaches have got to really zero in on them. So,
he got out in space. It was just like Coach talked about. We just need to get him the ball and watch what he can do yards after the catch, which is, and last year I bashed him a lot. When is he going to play? When is he going to play? Is he worth it? Is he that good? And after watching that game, he is worth it. He is that good. He did play great. And the fumble I could let go. He's probably the type that ain't going to do that again.
Right. So, and he, and I think, and I was wrong about a few things. Let me tell you, going in, I'll tell you, I was wrong about how they would utilize the running backs. I wasn't so sure. I thought Williams might be, used in a more traditional role, and Gibson would be, but Gibson was just pretty much the man, and they mixed JD in there, right?
Yeah.
And then Antonio, kind of like Curtis, showed us, we get upset with them and these fumbles and some things, but then when you see him utilized properly, it's like wow.
Yeah, he had a lot of great runs, a lot of great catches. He was number one for our team, if you ask me. He killed it, dude. He killed it.
He did, and he that one, I know he was just lined up in the backfield and he just took off, went up, and it was sort of a fade pattern. And a great throw by Wentz, and Wentz laid it in there on him. And I mean, he was just a weapon as a receiver.
Yeah.
He really was something. I thought the offensive line did a good job.
Yeah, they
Not
did.
great, but they did good. They opened up holes, kept the protection. I think they sacked Wentz one time. I don't remember too many, but I thought they did a good job against a pretty darn good front seven. And because they harassed him in his last game with Indy. I mean, Josh Allen was in there. He got kind of, beat up and his timing was thrown off, but it didn't look that way this time. No. And I think too, just his, we always talked about with those three receivers, sort of the same kind, they kind of have a lot of the same skills in a way, not totally, but they're kind of similar guys. So we don't have a DK Metcalf, or we don't have a little mini guy, Mighty Mike. They're all kind of built the same, run the same. And we always thought, boy, those three guys running around out there, defense is going to be pick your poison, man. And and Wentz really showed that because they all three scored. Mm-hmm. And Jahan Dotson, man, I know it was only 3 or 4 catches for 40 yards, but he got 2 touchdowns. And when he just worked that guy on the first touchdown, it was just so slick. And he didn't do anything great. He just worked him, went inside, and then the touchdown catch was special.
Yeah, that was crazy. He just totally focused on that ball all the way through. He just played that guy. Man, that was amazing. It
was. I mean, if that had bricked off his hand and hit the ground, you almost couldn't be mad at him.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just tough, but he just zeroed in on it. That's what they always said about him. Great hands, fantastic catch radius. I mean, boy, for a rookie, 2 touchdowns, that's pretty awesome. So,
yeah.
I was surprised. Another one of my predictions, I mean, I had a lot of predictions go downhill, was I thought Logan Thomas would be inactive. I really wasn't sure, and to see him in there, and I think did he have many catches?
Yeah, I think it was 3 catches on 5 targets.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right. Boy, it was just so good to see him running around. He's a great blocker. I looked at some of the PFF stuff. Once again, him and John Bates, just great blocking scores.
Yeah.
And so that's awesome to see. I mean, gosh, if you got double tight end with those 2 guys, and these aren't just, they're both.
And Armani Rogers too.
I know. He
killed it. That one. He only had 1 catch, but it was awesome.
It was awesome. And Cole Turner, he might. I mean, who do you put in active there when you got those 4 guys? Talk about a deep tight end room, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. So I was really happy for Logan. So the great thing is that Logan Thomas will be able to blend in, and he'll only get better. He hasn't had a lot of time with Carson Wentz, obviously.
Yeah, but he opens it up like once some guys get going, obviously, like we talked about our 3 receivers, then you got a nice tight end core, and then you got once Robinson comes back, even without him, we still got Antonio Gibson, and you got J.D. McKissick coming out of that backfield. Those are awesome weapons, and any defense has to just be going, what the hell? Who do you cover? Who do you focus on? Each one of them people are playmakers, every single one of them. So
every single one of them, and so I really love that, and I think that Carson Wentz showed that he likes that. He likes to come up pre-snap. He wants to see there's going to be mismatches when he comes up to the center. He's going to see how the play's drawn up. And he's got 3 guys that are all like, they're all like in that number 1, number 2 wide receiver range. They're not like a 4-string wide receiver or an afterthought. So he's going to have guys when there's the wrong guy or the wrong coverage, he's going to know right away, oh my God, I'm going to throw it to my boy. I know right away because they're all very good. And then you throw Logan Thomas in there. And I think it's going to be great. And I like the idea. And the key to all that is you give everybody a piece of the pie, and it just drives the defensive coordinator crazy.
Yeah. Because Scott Turner too, for tying all that together.
Yeah, really. Yeah. That was the thing. So overall offense, man, just very exciting. And really Wentz's first game with the team, I think about him, his first game with the team, I think Jahan Dotson as a rookie, and they didn't phase him. They went out and they played well.
Yeah.
So defense was a mixed bag.
Although the D line was spot on. I didn't see nothing wrong there. They were just
they were
rushing it, dude.
Yeah, I think I was watching Rico this morning on Street Scores. He had a great video. He likes to do a lot of Pro Football Focus, and he was just talking about too. I mean, and he was looking at some deeper into some figures and numbers, and he was talking about too about they rushed for a lot, a whole lot, and that you can get away, you can kill people by just rushing four and getting pressure, because then you have seven guys. And you zone them out, and man, that poor quarterback, he's under pressure, and it seems like there's 9 guys out there. You know what I mean? It's when you run people put down zone and say it's soft, but if you have an effective zone, it can really melt a quarterback down.
Yeah,
because you just can't see a spot, and it starts to get into their brain. Now, without a doubt, the D line was stout. Early, I thought the DBs Ron said they weren't committed enough. He felt they just were a little soft. They didn't. He wanted them to come on, get after it. Have a little more confidence, and he felt that the confidence grew. I think during the game you could see that they got better.
Yeah.
God, who was it who had the 2 pass interferences in a row?
Yeah, that was Kendall Fuller. Boy, he looked like deer in the headlights. So I was looking at him a couple times. He just had the stone face, and I'm like, "What the hell are you doing?" It was back-to-back interferences too. So
I don't know
really
what happened. Yeah, because he was, he was the man last year. I mean, on the field, he was the man. Pro Football Focus was just raging about him, his coverage skills, and how good he was. By far and away, our best cover guy. And yeah, when your best guy starts to look like that, but
maybe a bad day.
That's it. Yeah, maybe, man. And maybe you never know what's going on at home with these guys. Who knows, man? We've all had bad days, but it was a real head scratcher.
It was.
But like Coach said, though, got those out of the way, and then it was fine.
It was.
I think we started covering guys really well, and then there was only one more pass interference, and that was the phantom Bobby McCain pass interference.
Yeah.
That was garbage.
Yeah.
So that's good. So they brought it around. I thought they did a good job. Benjamin St. Juste got a blitz. He did really good.
Yeah.
I wish they'd send him a few more times. He's a big dude. I mean, he's not just one of those little mighty might corners coming off the edge. He's a big man.
Got him ditching the ball too. So not only popped him real good, and intentional grounding on that one as well. So he's just
like, who's this guy? Yeah, so I was glad to see him get mixed in.
Yeah.
I think we would have to be probably the hero of the game might even be, although we gave out a lot of kudos to the offense, but Derek Forrest.
Number 22, baby. He looked like he was everywhere in that game.
He just, and when he didn't he get the interception like in the back of the end zone? Was that, I can't remember when he got. I mean, he defended back there. I mean, he was pretty much for a strong safety or a guy who a lot of times plays up close to the line, he was everywhere.
I think at the end of the game he got the interception that saved the game, that stopped the game.
Okay.
It was on the sideline, I believe.
Oh, okay. I think maybe he defended something. I think he defended.
Oh yeah, he did. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's like I'm saying, he's a guy that plays up close to the line, and he, whatever the coverage was, he went with his man and didn't get beat. But man, he was just awesome. He had some bone-breaking tackles.
Yep.
I think they hit him. Did they hit him with a personal foul?
They may have.
I think he was the one that had it
in that area. Yeah.
Yeah, he kind of came in hard and strong, but that's kind of his style. He'll have to watch that, but you don't want to temper that too much, because he really did get after it against the run and the pass. He was just an all-star, and one of those guys where it was surprising that Fuller really wasn't up to par. But then again, Derek Forrest made up for it by playing. He's played well and okay, but he was like an all-star, man. So I was so happy to see that. He really saved us in many ways.
Yeah. Yeah, and Trevor Lawrence saved us in many ways too, because he can't throw.
Yeah, I know. He
Etienne
just
bricked one that went right to him, so we got lucky in a couple places. So Etienne would have made that touchdown if he hadn't have just bounced right off his hand. So
yeah,
we
he
got
would
lucky
have.
in a couple spots.
We did, and I think our linebackers. I think Cole's gonna have to have. I think he struggled. He's gonna just need more reps. I mean, he is moving um, to the middle from I think last year he was the will linebacker, and so it does take time. And a couple of times he was just not in the right place, and that just takes time. Jamin knows how that felt. I thought Jamin had a pretty good game.
Yeah.
He did pretty good, not great, but those two, I think it'll just take him a little time. And Cole, he might have been pretty nervous his first game. He's calling the plays. He is the middle linebacker. I think he'll settle down and play better.
Well, like you said, every team was going through that. So I didn't think our team jitters or new first game struggles were any worse than anybody else's. There are some teams out there just shit the bed. So we didn't do
Yeah,
that, and we scored a lot of points. And it was like, you hear me always say we need a stout defense, and then all our offense has to do is just score a couple points. Well, our offense looks like they can score some points. So now we don't just have to have you just need to get 17 or 22 points on the board while our defense stuffs them. Well, if our defense, does okay, our offense can score those points. I mean, I had them picked at what 17-9. I had a low scoring. I think you were closer than me on your prediction for your
yeah,
score.
but closer than you, but off by a mile. I mean,
Yeah,
I really was convinced that the over under be 34. The over under was 44. They went over it.
yep.
So
Yep.
that's Vegas for you, man. Don't doubt Vegas. They know what they're doing, man. Shit. Um,
So yeah,
anyway,
great game.
yeah. So it really was. I think, yeah, coaching was great. I mean, Scott Turner, I think gets an A. Really, just the way there's not just it, because of the plays were cool, man. I just liked the
Yeah.
way they were modern. It was just took advantage of everyone's strengths and the way he mixed it up. So, there's two things that go hand in hand. You have to have good play calling, not just good plays. So he gets an A for me. I thought he did a great job.
Yeah.
And kudos to the D, if they can just keep holding up. I mean, unfortunately, I guess we should talk about some of the downsides of this game.
Yeah.
And obviously the injury to Fedarian out for the year, torn meniscus. Ugh, that sucks. It's okay. I'm not sure. I kind of did a little looking around and not much, but I think he'll it's not good a torn meniscus, but at least he didn't rip up the ACL and tear up. Some of these knee injuries are brutal. And so he'll get through it. So that hurts. So right now, they're gonna, they don't want to have Jonathan Allen and Deron Payne out there too much.
Right. They're
So
looking at defensive tackles. I think they even brought one or two of them on, actually.
they got an undrafted guy who was cut, pretty young guy. They must have been the guy they were eyeballing, but he's kind of got the same. He's not going to make a big splash, but his skill set is like Fedarian's, like 325. He's a gap guy who can stuff, hold the line. I think that's kind of want to get a guy in there like that. I thought maybe they'd bring in someone else, but they may be confident what they might want to go a little bit more rotating. F.A. Obata and Daniel Wise in there, and try some mixing it up a little different, and it may work. Because I'm not one for going out and getting an Ndamukong Suh or some of these 34, 35, 36-year-old guys and paying a whole lot of money for really, the talent's just not there. And the bottom line is there's people say, hey, we could get that guy, that guy, that guy, and that guy. And it's the same story every time. I said, that sounds great. Why hasn't anyone else signed him?
Exactly.
Why are these guys? All these guys you named are out there.
Mm-hmm.
If they were any good, man, I'll tell you, they'd probably be on a roster. So, but yeah, I think the interceptions were the one was bad when Carson stared down his receiver. You were talking about it. I mean, the minute it happened, you could see that was a bad interception. So he's got to know that. He's got to know in that situation when it happens again and he's staring down, airmail it. Just throw it out of bounds. When you get that feeling again that, and you're locked in on a guy, don't do it. The other one I think was just, that was a pretty great play by Trayvon Walker to snag that ball.
Yeah, right out of the air. Bam.
Just yeah, that guy, boy, that guy's going to be something. He showed a lot. He had a sack. He had that interception, his first ever game. There's a rookie who showed up big time too. That guy, you can see why they took him with the first pick. Super strong, super big. So yeah, that was a weird one. So other than that, I didn't see any of. I just thought Carson made great throws, but you know, we always say, bring those interceptions down and don't panic. Some people make too big of a deal. I mean, Josh Allen threw 2 interceptions and he only threw 3 touchdown passes.
Exactly.
And you didn't see anybody trashing him.
The only thing about them was they were back to back.
Right.
That kind of grinds on. I think they were like actually one play right after the other, if I'm not mistaken. So
it's kind of like those interceptions when they're back to back. Man, talk about a backbreaker.
Yeah. Like good. Kendall Fuller with the back-to-back pass interferences. That just makes it stand out that much more. So
it does. And so, and I think we kind of talked about that as being, there's going to be pass interferences, but, keep them down to a minimum. And then there was a fumble, 3 total turnovers. That helped them a lot. So, you take away 1 or 2 of those, and it's a completely different game. And I know they know that. But I don't think it was really egregious. They sort of spread the pain. And then the second half, I think a lot of that went away. I thought they did better. So I got no complaints. I'm excited about it. And I'm excited to see what they can do, especially on offense, man.
Yes, definitely, dude. In this upcoming game against Detroit.
Yeah. Detroit. I tell you, Detroit did not look that bad against the Eagles. I thought the Eagles might steamroll them, but they kept up with them. I was kind of surprised. I find them to be very similar to Jacksonville in many ways. Kind of a growing team, up and coming, not quite as mature. Guys haven't played together quite as much, but they know the system. This is not the coach's first year like Pedersen's. But you can get after their defense. You can run on them and you can throw on them. It's not that hard. So I didn't see anything that was overpowering there. Yeah. Offense, very similar to Jacksonville, some good receivers, no one great. You got a guy, Amon-Ra St. Brown is a good receiver, much like Christian Kirk. He's a guy you do have to account for. He's a very good receiver. So he's the main guy. They got a decent tight end. Their big thing is that DeAndre Swift, the running back. Yeah, that guy, he's really dynamic. He's really explosive. They did a lot of quick hits with him. None of that slow motion RPO stuff or delayed handoff. They did a lot of snap, hand of the balls, and he hits the line and he hits his hole and he's gone.
He had some good yardage, right?
Yeah, and Philadelphia
over 100, right?
Yeah, Philadelphia got burnt. And some of those plays were 20, 25 yards. I mean, on those quick hits, he knew where to go. He knew where he was headed. He'd hit that gap and he was gone. And so you can't sleep on them. They kind of mix up their tempo on the running. And when they did those quick hits, man, the Eagles were burnt. So we kind of got to watch that. This guy he's definitely good. He can catch the ball. Really dynamic. He's an impressive young player, man. I was watching him thinking, this kid, he's a stud. He can do it all. And he's not huge, but he's not afraid to mix it up, go between the tackles, and play rough.
Who's their quarterback?
Jared Goff. Glad you asked. He's better than Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah,
but
he's a veteran.
The thing I'll give him, he's a veteran, and he kept him in the game. He threw some garbage. He threw into coverage, but then all of a sudden, his receivers weren't separating for him very well early on for some reason. So he was really trying to jam the ball in there. He's not that impressive, but I will say this: he didn't give up. I'll give him that much. And, they fought back. I mean, that game was close. And he threw some touchdown passes. And I just got to give him credit for he's not a very talented quarterback or doesn't have much.
It's just vanilla.
Not a lot of arm talent either.
Yeah.
But, the guy didn't give up and he kept fighting for his team. So, that's a guy, he'll keep them in the game. He's not going to just roll over. I think that's a guy, no matter what, if you sack him or beat him up, he won't quit. He's got that kind of veteran thing with him. So, yeah, he's nothing to be too worried about. And I just think across the board, the only thing that's different is we are going to Detroit.
Yeah.
So that's, you're there, but it's indoors. It's on turf. So our team looks quick on grass. So I bet you on turf, we really look quick. So that'll be kind of fun to watch. Our receivers and our running backs playing on that quick turf in Detroit. But I think they're beatable.
Yeah.
Really, I really do. I think they're
Especially
good.
after seeing the way
team.
we played against the Jaguars. That
Yeah.
gave me more hope than I would normally have. So
Yeah, exactly. Because you know that they can ramp it up.
yeah,
They'll
they
be
could get
tighter.
better. Yeah.
It'll be better. They got great film
Mm-hmm.
in that Detroit game, watching their defense. They got some good film to study. But yeah, I think our offense can really crank it up on them in this game. They're going to have a tough time covering everybody and accounting for all of our skilled players. I think they really are.
Sweet.
Yeah.
We want to do a prediction or?
Yeah, I'll go 34-17.
Wow. Good call, boss.
Yeah, I think,
yeah.
They'll put up scores. Heck, they might even get up to 24, but I think we can put up 34 minimum and then keep and hold them at bay. So yeah, I think we can do it.
Okay. Yeah, I don't really have a score prediction, but I would say the margin of victory, like you're talking about, I would say at least by 7, maybe 10-point margin of victory. So if it's indoors and there's no weather, them boys can get out there and we can get that passing game going. I could see it being a higher scoring game. So,
I could too.
Yeah, it looks like a victory for the boys, I would have to definitely say. So
yeah. That'd be so good. 2-0, go home to play the hated Eagles.
Yep.
Boy, couldn't ask for a better setup. It will be. All right, man.
Anything else around the league we need to talk about? How about our boy Russell Wilson shit in the bed?
Yeah, man. That's a lot of money to lose to Seattle.
Yeah, Geno Smith stepped up. The boys stepped up. Oh, the 12 stepped up more. They booed the shit out of him when he came out. That was deafening.
That affected him, man, because I'm telling you, that was crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, and also, I mean, NFC East, Dak Prescott is out. I think.
Yeah.
They're hoping for him to come back. It looks like a 6-week injury. They didn't put him on IR, so they're going to kind of monitor. It's a hand injury. They're weird. He could be back in 3 weeks. You never know.
Yeah.
They heal the way hands heal, and it was just throwing. I think he threw and hit the guy, and man, it messed up his hands. So that's gonna hurt Dallas a lot. Hey, Dallas, how does it feel to have your quarterback go out first game of the year? Well,
hello.
We know that horrible feeling.
That helps us. I mean,
it does. Yeah.
I hate riding on somebody's injury like that, but I'll take it. So
yeah, I mean,
it's the game of football. So
it is, and it's going to affect them and how you bounce back. Hey, man, we lost Fedarian Mathis. It's no fun. It hurts.
Yeah. New York won.
Yeah, they barely, but they did it.
They did it.
They hung in there. Yeah, they hung in.
NFC East are with 3 wins and one loss. Dallas lost.
One loss. So. Yeah, and they look bad with Dak. So let's see what happens next week. They got Cincinnati. Cincinnati, they didn't look. You talk about a team that looked jumbled in their first game. Man, they went to the Super Bowl, but they just were.
They played the Steelers, right?
Yeah, and
the Steelers tried to give it to them, didn't they?
Yeah, they came back. But the Steelers were just whomping them, and man, I think Burrow threw maybe 3 interceptions. Yeah, it was a disaster. They sort of kind of came close at the end, and I think that's a team. Dallas might be in trouble because when you play that bad, you end up having a great week of practice because they sucked. I mean, they did a lot of things bad. So yeah, maybe they go into Dallas. I wouldn't mind seeing Cincinnati go into Dallas and just punch them in the face.
Yeah, that would be cool. Be good. Yeah, we really need to separate in our division and get moving. Like, we'll play Detroit this week, and if we can take on the Eagles the following week and start creating that separation and build on top of that, it's going to be good stuff, man. I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. So next week, the truck's coming next Wednesday, and then
Nice.
Thursday we're driving to San Diego. So I got the setup here, and I don't know, from the road and a hotel, but we'll get the show going. We'll make it work.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Keep it short like this, and maybe I'll try and call the game on Sunday. I went ahead and got that NFL Plus, but I got the cheap one, so I can just watch it on my phone.
Okay.
So if I can do that, it's supposed to be on Fox, but there's another better game on Fox. I think Tampa Bay plays New Orleans on Fox in that hour. So
yeah, I think that's the national game because that's the one I got, at least in our region. So
yeah,
we'll see.
Well, I'll get on there with Yahoo or something. It was good to have some of the people there for that game. We had Chris and Mountain Man, and you were in there, and my girl showed up. So it was a lot of fun. So
yeah,
get them people back in there. Come and join us if you can, guys. So
yeah, I'll be there.
BH.
All right, man.
Yeah,
you too. On to victory.
Thanks, dog. Later, y'all. Man.